What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here. And first and foremost, shout out to all the people that watched my videos concerning Sub-Zero and the buffs that he needs. I appreciate you guys for, viewing, commenting, and even spreading the message on Twitter to NRS. Shout out to you guys. I think, and I'm going off of memory here, I think it was the Nicola Yo that did that. Nicola Yo. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for spreading the videos to the crew at NRS. But I gotta spend a little bit of time popping out and showing niggas, specifically these fucking naysayers that are out here trying to detract from the conversation. And it's so interesting because this video is not necessarily about them, but it's more about, trying to get us all to be aware of certain impulses that we have as human beings. And that impulse is not knowing when to, as The Rock would say, not knowing when to know your role and shutting what is called the fuck up. All right? What do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you do not know enough about a topic, if you are ignorant, if you are not well versed, if you do not have the knowledge, the background, the experience, the expertise to talk about a particular thing, and in this case it's about Sub-Zero's viability, but it applies broadly to anything. If you don't have the expertise or the gravitas to speak on a particular topic, and you got to rely on opinion and feelings and inclinations and shit, that's a telltale sign that you need to shut the fuck up when, entering discussions about a topic. Just shut up. Sit back and learn. Or at the very least, just be quiet. Maybe you're skeptical about what is being said. Maybe you don't want to just accept what the narrative is. That's cool. That's fine. Take it with a grain of salt. Right? But what you don't want to do is put your 2 cents in when you're already negative in the account. You dig what I'm saying? Because you sound mad stupid. There are more than a few commenters on the Sub-Zero video who you can tell they don't play the character. They want to sit here and tell me and tell other Sub-Zero players how our character works, as if we don't know, as if we haven't tried damn near everything, as if we haven't gone through about 4 or 5 different cameos, as if there aren't, all kinds of different Sub-Zero teams in this game that all have to play the character differently because of how different the cameos are. People that don't play the character gonna tell us what he does and how viable he is and how good he is. They want to talk about the clone when the people that are talking are playing just like this Big Daddy Mufasa person here. Fucking poking after clone and shit like that. Not punishing it when you have a character with an 18 frame extended hitbox normal. This motherfucker's misusing Tanya. You know what I'm saying? And people that play like this and worse will sit here and talk about how strong Sub-Zero is. Like, bro, first and foremost, you don't play the game well. You wouldn't know high level if somebody dropped a damn dime on your head from the 300th floor. If Sonic Fox themselves went and dropped a quarter on your ass you wouldn't know high-level gameplay. All right? Some of you think Sub-Zero's a good-ass zoner. Zoner? Where? What zoning does Sub-Zero have? In order to be a zoner, you got to have a long-range tool that keeps people out. Sub-Zero has a damn near 40-frame projectile that hits people from full screen. But mostly it's going to get blocked from full screen or ducked from full screen. Because it's 40 frames. Technically it's 38, but it's too damn slow. No, I'm lying. It's 39 frames. I'm sorry. You have a 39 frame projectile. That's almost 2/3 of a second, which is abhorrently slow in a fighting game. That character has good zoning. Okay. You see how long that clone was out for? Let me run it back. That clone was out. Hold on. Not here. Right there. It's already gone. That's his great zoning right there. Yeah, he's keeping people out the whole game just from using that flash in a pan ass clone. Now look, I'm not here to downplay Sub-Zero and say that the clone is bad. I'm saying that the idea of it being some sort of terrific zoning tool, or this character, the idea of this character being some sort of great zoning character, is far-fetched as fuck. Okay? But these are the kind of comments, these are the kind of statements that people are making, which tells me that they have not known their motherfucking role and shutted the fuck up. They talking out of turn. And this brings me to another teachable lesson here. Expertise is real. I understand that people distrust major institutions like the CDC and the Department of, well, maybe not the Department of Education, but things like the EPA, you know, large institutions that are centered around something. I get that. All right. And these institutions are not perfect, but they consist of people that have studied a particular thing for many, many years. They have spent lots and lots of years, lots and lots of time, lots and lots of money studying things that the rest of us are not privy to. They have expertise in areas that we do not. So who are we to sit there and tell them that what they have to say to us is wrong and don't make no sense when we ain't put no hours in? Let me ask a hypothetical question. When your car's broken down, something's wrong with the engine, who do you go to? Your mechanic or your dentist? Real shit. Do you go to your mechanic or do you go to your dentist? I ain't even got to say who you go to because we all know. You would never go to your goddamn dentist about car trouble when you can go to a mechanic. Why? Because the dentist's expertise is not in the area of cars. The dentist has not put hours into the craft of diagnosing and fixing vehicles. He's done that for teeth. He or she has done that for the area of oral health and hygiene, but not for vehicles. So the dentist's expertise in vehicles is not nearly as valuable as a mechanic's. And likewise, I'm not talking to no mechanic about my oral and dental hygiene over a goddamn dentist. I'm just not going to do it. And neither would you. Yet you dentist motherfuckers want to come up in here and talk shit about cars and tell us about what we're not doing as car people just because you got an opinion. What is the point that I'm making? Everyone has a right to their opinion, but everyone's opinion is not equally valid. Some opinions are just wrong. Some opinions are simply invalid because they don't know enough to give said opinion. I'm a math teacher. I see this every year. Do you know how many times I have to teach students that squaring an integer is not the same as multiplying it by 2? For instance, the expression 11 squared. That does not mean 11 times 2. 11 squared means 11 times 11. That's 121. So if you have the opinion that 11 square is 22, you would just be objectively wrong, period. Your opinion is trash. That opinion is trash. It's dumb. And there's no nice way to say that. And I don't mean to be an asshole, but I'm just being objective here. Objectively speaking, 11 squared is 121, not 22. And we don't go to our dentists to fix our car troubles. Okay? So if you are somebody that does not play Sub-Zero, you have not labbed Sub-Zero, or you've played Sub-Zero a little bit on Combat League, and Combat League is the extent of your experience, and you have not played high-level players with this character, you do not have the range to contribute to this conversation about Sub-Zero. You do not know enough. Your opinion is trash. You don't have the knowledge base. The best thing you can do is defer to the people that play this goddamn character. That's the best shit you can do, because you don't have the knowledge base. And here's the thing. This doesn't just apply to Sub-Zero. This applies to every goddamn character in the game. I don't play Smoke. I don't play Smoke. I've never played Smoke, Human Smoke, in any Mortal Kombat game, and I don't play him in MK1 either. So you're not going to hear me hopping on Smoke videos, going into the comments of those videos and saying, "Nuh-uh, Smoke's actually really good. You just got to know how to do the cancels and the overheads and the mix, blah, 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 blah." I'm not going to do that because I don't play Smoke. I don't have the expertise. I can't weigh in on this particular conversation. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm going to sound dumb when an actual Smoke player comes in and says, "Yeah, I've played him at the highest level. He struggles. He struggles for reasons A, B, C, D, and E." So who you gonna believe? The person that plays Smoke for money against the very best players in the scene? Or the motherfucker that ain't never used Smoke talking about what he experienced in Combat League? I hope it's the former. I hope it's the former. Okay. Now, for the vast majority of you that watch this channel, you're here because you play Sub-Zero. You love Sub-Zero. And I've provided lots of tech over the past couple months, and I plan on doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But there are many people that run across this video who don't necessarily, they're not necessarily chronic visitors to the channel. They stumbled upon it just the way that most of you stumbled upon it. And they have opinions and reactions based on what I'm saying. And that's natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to stifle dissent. You know, I'm not trying to create an echo chamber here. Okay? But for those people, if you're, listening to this under the sound of my voice, hear me. I welcome you to this channel. I want you to leave your comments, whether you agree with me or you don't. But make sure you got some expertise before you talk. Make sure you know what the fuck you are talking about before you tell me that I'm wrong about my character whom I've played in every goddamn Mortal Kombat, whether he was good, bad, or mid. Make sure you know what the fuck you talking about, because I will. I do know what I'm talking about. And no, I'm not sitting up here being ungrateful, asking for more buffs when Sub-Zero got buffs already. But the buffs that Sub-Zero got did not fix his fundamental issues. He's had these issues of not being cameo independent since the beta. He's had a bad ice ball since the beta of the game. But that bad ice ball didn't mean so much when his mid was 12 frames. He had better damage scaling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't as impactful, and he had a much better ice clone. We could have possibly dealt with a bad ice ball back then. But once the game dropped and his mid was slowed down to 15 frames, his damage scaling was doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? And his ice clone became a liability that you could only get out once every 4 seconds or so. Now the issues that he's had become much more prescient. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you that don't know big words, look that motherfucker up. Okay? Prescient just means more present, more apparent, if you will. Okay? But I'm not ungrateful, and I'm not going to sit here and ignore what he got. I'm going to use every tool that Sub-Zero has. Okay? But what I'm saying to you is that if you play Sub-Zero and then you turn around and play a character like Johnny Cage, like I do, or even a character like Takeda, who Takeda's not necessarily viewed as some sort of high-level, top-tier character, but Takeda has a lot of shit going on that he can do. Takeda has a projectile that's a low that he can throw on the ground or in the air. Takeda has long-range normals. He has a nice little jab string. He has a teleport move. He has a Rekka. You know what I'm saying? Like, Takeda's got some shit going on with him. And so there's a lot of stuff that you have to watch out for fighting Takeda. That's all I want for Sub, really. And this is before you even involve the cameo, because Takeda doesn't need a cameo to combo. The cameos that he uses, they all extend his combos pretty much so that he gets crazier damage. But he don't need one to initiate no goddamn combo. He can do his teleport from damn near any string he has, and it's a safe, hit confirmable launcher that allows him to get his combo game going. Sub-Zero does not have that. That's what I'm asking for. Takeda has moves that if he uses them in the worst situations, yes, they can get him killed, but if he just does them in general where he's supposed to do them from, it's not a liability to him. At worst, everyone is at neutral. Or at worst, I should say, everyone's at neutral. That's all I want for Sub. And really, I want worse than that for Sub, because I'm in favor of letting the whole cast use armor or normals to punish the ice clone on a read. If you read that the Sub-Zero player is going to do forward 1-2 into clone, you should be able to get a punish for that. I'm perfectly okay with that. What I'm not okay with is for the clone to be minus 43 anywhere on the screen. I don't like that shit. Other characters don't have that problem where this special move that's like a cornerstone of their game plan is like a supreme liability against them. I don't like that shit, and I want it to change. So boo-hoo, you don't like that I want this shit to change. But you dumb if you're thinking that it shouldn't change. Especially when you don't play the character. You just dumb. Your opinion is bad. Now, some of you might be sitting here thinking, you talking about what Sub-Zero needs as a buff, but here you are doing just fine against blah, blah, blah player. Me doing fine in a match or a set against one particular player does not speak to the entire viability of a character. It does not. It doesn't. Me doing well. Ooh, I should have seen. If I'd have hit confirm that and continued, I would have won that shit. But me doing well or not doing well does not verify or refute the overall viability and skill of a character. If I do well in lots of my matches, that doesn't mean the character's good. If a Foxy Grandpa uses Sub-Zero's Ice Ball with particular cameos, that doesn't mean the Ice Ball is good. And it certainly doesn't mean Sub-Zero is good. A Foxy Grandpa is just a terrific fighting game player. And he uses the tools that a character has. He thinks outside of the box. And he tries to use everything a character has, even if it ain't that good. That shit ain't got nothing to do with how good that character actually is. And it doesn't mean that they don't need some adjustments that are more favorable to them. And if you think that that's what it does mean, your opinion is just invalid. You're that motherfucker that runs around talking about some 11 square is 22 because it ain't. Or maybe worse yet, you're like Terrence Howard who thinks that 1 times 1 is 2. And goes as far as to get in front of a group of people and tell them as much. That's dumb as fuck. That's dumb as fuck. And there's no nice way to say that, but it's the truth. It's the objective truth. At the end of the day, there are objective realities about our world and about our games that cannot be ignored, that cannot be denied by people's feelings and inclinations and attitudes and experiences. I'm not trying to deny you your experience. If you got folded by a sub player who made you feel like you couldn't get up close to him, then you got folded by a Sub-Zero player. Doesn't mean Sub's great, though. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve buffs. It just means you need to know your role and shut the fuck up. You dig what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all later. 1.